It's Wolf, and it's a 15 first impressions. This one is about the open beta for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Also, first 4K video and actual real video recorded with my new setup. So tell me what you guys think, if there's anything noticeably different. Anyway, so Black Ops 6 is the 6th entry in the Black Ops sub-series for Call of Duty, and this open beta was multiplayer only, so I haven't played zombies and I haven't played campaign mode, but I am looking forward to Black Ops 6 quite a bit even before playing it, just because I like the Black Ops sub-series of Call of Duty. I mean, I like Call of Duty in general, but I think the Black Ops section of it usually has a little bit more creative stories. The Modern Warfare side of things kind of takes things in a more serious, realistic direction, whereas Black Ops usually involves some sort of mind control or something like that. So I'm curious to see where they go with the story in this one. It looks like it'll be interesting. But anyway, this beta was only multiplayer, so that's going to be mostly what I'm talking about in this video. And the big new addition to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is Omni Movement. So Omni Movement is another change in Call of Duty's movement system. And Call of Duty has always sort of been evolving the movement system that they've been using. The first couple of Call of Duty games up until Call of Duty 4 kind of moved to the same, and then Black Ops introduced dolphin diving, but then that was only in the Black Ops series for a while, and then eventually you had sliding in some of the games, and then you had dolphin dives in some other ones, and there's always been sort of evolution of Call of Duty's movement. If you watch gameplay of all the games, you'll sort of see how over time, they've always looked relatively realistic in my opinion, but over time they've kind of made it more advanced. And then there was also the stuff for a while with the advanced movement that started with Advanced Warfare and then was also in Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare, which was pretty much jetpacks. And Omni Movement actually kind of reminds me a little bit of that stuff. It reminds me specifically of Advanced Warfare's movement because it's not exceptionally vertical, but there's a lot of short bursts of quick movement. I guess the way that I've kind of noticed the new movement system works in Black Ops 6 is almost like there's 3 levels of movement now in Call of Duty compared to kind of 2 before. In other Call of Duty games, you would usually have your walking where you're not sprinting, where you can fire your gun and stuff like that. And then you had your sprinting, which was you could only do that forward and slightly sideways, and you couldn't normally shoot during that except for some of the games with certain perks and stuff. And then the 2019 Modern Warfare added, I think it's called the tactical sprint. I don't remember the exact name for it, but pretty much you hit the sprint button twice and you can run really fast, but you can't reload or do anything when you're doing that. But not every Call of Duty included that after Modern Warfare, because Call of Duty Cold War, Black Ops Cold War, Black Ops 5 didn't have that feature. So now with Omni Movement, the thing is that you can sprint in any direction and you can also dolphin dive and slide in most direction. A lot of people have been kind of comparing it to Max Payne, and it's sort of like that, but not quite so acrobatic. Also, Wolf here from the future while I'm editing this audio. Something I forgot to mention when I originally was recording this, speaking of Max Payne, is that this game absolutely needs some sort of moon gravity or slow motion mode in the future. And then also maybe a slippery mode where you slide further distances and stuff. Just wanted to add that in. And so now the general gameplay of Call of Duty seems to sort of have 3 layers of movement. So you've still got your sort of basic walking where you can fire your gun and stuff like that. And then now you have your normal sprint where you can move any direction, but you just sort of can't fire when you're doing that. And then you have the tactical sprint, which kind of has replaced the classic sprint, because that's when you can only go forward and you can't move in every direction and you can't fire your gun. Anyway, now that I've attempted to explain Omni Movement, I actually really enjoy it. I think it's a great addition to Call of Duty's gameplay style, and especially because I like games like Max Payne and stuff where you can dive around and slide and all that type of stuff. I like the really fast-paced combat. The thing that I think is really funny about the Omni Movement thing is just that when Call of Duty introduced all of the jetpacks and stuff, a lot of people complained about it, a lot of people didn't like it, but Omni Movement works really similarly to how some of that stuff worked. If there's anything to compare it to, I think it's Advanced Warfare's movement, because Advanced Warfare's movement wasn't based on a meter meter that would run out as you did stuff. It was only like you could boost once left and then you had to wait a few seconds, or like you could jump and then boost upwards and then boost forwards. Like it was very kind of like one at a time, and that's sort of how this feels also, and it works sort of the same way. But that's enough about Omni Movement, because I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard a lot about Omni Movement. I like it, and I think it's fun. That's my general thoughts on it. Otherwise, moving on to some other things to talk about, I think that one issue that I noticed was that some of the maps seemed too big, and that could just be the couple that were included in this beta. But right now, Black Ops 6's modes, at least the ones that you could play in this, were 6v6. And, I mean, I could see how that could work for a lot of Call of Duty maps, but it felt like a lot of the maps were either too big or too small. I think that hopefully the full game will have some maps that are like in between the sizes of the ones available for this beta. There was a lot of times where I'd be running around and it would take me forever to run into another player, or the opposite would happen. I would spawn in and immediately run into enemies. So I think hopefully the game will have a little bit more balanced maps when it actually launches. I do really like the setting though. It takes place in the 90s, I think specifically the early 90s, and I was alive in the 90s, but the late 90s. Nonetheless though, the 90s are sort of similar to the 2000s, which is partially when I was growing up and when I was a kid, and so it's cool to see some of the stuff in this game that I kind of remember from when I was younger. Like the one map has a video rental store as sort of the centerpiece, and that's really cool. And I also like how this game seems like it'll have more stuff that takes place in the US. A lot of Call of Duty games and a lot of video games that are sort of military based in general take place in other countries, and I think it's cool whenever the US appears in games like this, just because a lot of the times Call of Duty, Battlefield, other stuff like that, they get really detailed about the levels and the maps and stuff that are included, and so it's cool to see these like really kind of detailed recreations of stuff from the US. So speaking of the setting, even though this beta was multiplayer only, I am very curious to see what happens with Black Ops 6's story, because it seems really interesting. It seems like it actually might take place significantly in the US, because it sounds almost like, well, I mean, even like in the multiplayer mode, the name of the one team is Rogue Black Ops. It sounds kind of like the main Black Ops team here is going rogue, although I think this is going to be a situation kind of similar to Cold War, where even though it's a Black Ops game, I think it's going to introduce a handful of new characters, and like the main Black Ops characters are going to be there for kind of support. Like Woods and Mason actually didn't show up that much in Black Ops Cold War, and I think we're going to have a similar situation here, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because some of the new characters they've introduced already seem pretty cool. But I have a theory on the story of Black Ops 6 that I've been meaning to say, and I think I've said it on Twitter, but I want to put it in an actual video. I have a feeling that this game might not focus as much on mind control stuff as the other Black Ops games do, because literally, I mean, Black Ops 1, 2, 3, and Cold War all end up having some sort of main focus on mind control stuff. I have a feeling that this one might go more into like evil bioengineering stuff, because I just noticed in some of the trailers, there's that one like split second in the one trailer where they show what looks like a living mannequin, which is kind of weird, and you can only do so much with any one topic. So I'm thinking that they're going to shift some of that stuff into like a different area of creepiness. And that being said though, I am curious how they will manage to sort of justify the existence of this game. It's one of those things where Black Ops 2 was a really cool Call of Duty game, but that being said, it took place next year actually. It took place in 2025, which is a significant difference in time from when the original Black Ops took place. So it feels like as they're doing these more Black Ops games that kind of take place between Black Ops 1 and 2, there's stuff that you have to explain that why it did or didn't exist in Black Ops 2. Like, where did Bell from Call of Duty Cold War go? By the end of Cold War, they had to sort of have a possible explanation for that, which they did. I'm not going to spoil it, but they do have like an explanation for what possibly might have happened to Bell and why he's not in Black Ops 2. And as for Zombies mode, I actually haven't really seen that much stuff of zombies, because I really haven't watched that much about Black Ops 6 other than the trailers, but I just watched about like 45 seconds of a Mr. Dalek JD video where he was showing the wonder weapons from Liberty Falls, which is at least the first zombies map in Black Ops 6, and it seems interesting. Don't really know anything about it. I really enjoyed Cold War zombies though, so if this is anything like that, then I think I will enjoy this. I really do hope hope that they stay with the whole round-based zombies thing. I know that there was, I guess, kind of, not really controversy, but just like distaste for the non-round-based zombies stuff that was in Vanguard and I think also Modern Warfare 3. I played a little bit of Vanguard zombies myself before, and yeah, I'm not a fan of the non-round based stuff. I really don't know why they did that. I guess like the story of zombies is kind of important, but I think leaning too much into the story kind of takes away the fun of finding the Easter eggs and stuff like that. So hopefully round-based zombies stays, and Liberty Falls, the very tiny bit of it that I just saw in that Mr. Dalek JD video, looks like an interesting map. Jumping back to multiplayer for just one last note, I think something that sort of encapsulates my whole thoughts about it is that this is one of these games that I would actually maybe pay for PlayStation Plus to play multiplayer. I haven't really bought PlayStation Plus in quite a while. I used to buy it like yearly and then just kind of stopped when I was in college because I wasn't playing that many multiplayer games. But this is the type of thing that I could actually see myself playing consistently because it is quite fun. And I'm looking forward to the campaigns and zombies modes also. So I don't really buy a ton of games day one because I don't really want to spend $70 on a lot of games, but I might buy this on day one or near to it just because I really enjoy Call of Duty. And given that I've enjoyed every other Black Ops game and pretty much every Call of Duty game in general, and I enjoyed this beta, I think I will enjoy this one. So anyway, that is my thoughts for this 15 first impressions. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the gameplay, which, let me remind you, is in 4K 60 FPS now that I have my new setup. So anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in other stuff in the future, and bye-bye.
Hardpoint down. Hardpoint active.
Good effect.
Hardpoint is secure. We're winning. Keep it that way.
Scout pulse going out. Tagged him.
Hardpoint identified. Storm incoming. Next call. Enemy watchdog helo inbound. Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Watched it.
Deploying RCXD. Outpost available.
Hardpoint locked down.
5 enemies shot.
Hardpoint located. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Pull your head out of your arm and check your fucking up.
Hardpoint is secure. Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down. Enemy scout post
Cease
detected.
fire. Friendly target. Using scout pulse.
Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint is active. Hardpoint is secure. Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Oi, that was too fucking
Hard point locked down. Hostiles have the hard point. Hard point is secure. Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hard point locked down. Hostiles have the hard point. Hardpoint located. Hostile counter UAV established above. Enemy UAV inbound. Hardpoint is secure. Hardpoint active. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down. Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint is active. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint. Hardpoint is secure.
drop one.
Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down. Hardpoint is secured. Hostiles have captured the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down. Hardpoint located. Hardpoint active.
That's 5 kills.
Hostiles have the hardpoint. Hostile UAV established overhead. You're falling behind, Crimson. Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint is active. Hardpoint is secure.
They ain't going nowhere.
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down. Hardpoint located.
Driving RCXD.
We've taken the lead. Stay on task. Hardpoint active. Hostiles Hostiles have the hard point. Hostiles reclaimed the lead. Hard point is secure. Hostiles have captured the hard point. The lead is ours. Hostiles have the hard point. Hard point locked down.
Slide them.
Hard point identified. Feel that? They're about to break. Give them a nudge. Hostiles have captured the hard point. Hostile counter UAV established. Enemy UAV inbound. Tack on. Feeling requesting help online. Hard point is active. Hard point is secure. Tack on. Get a watchdog killer overhead.